Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I'm here to talk to you about the latest update from Cambridge to Cambridge schools and how to assign your grades. But before we talk about that, and I'll break it down for each grade level, but before we talk about that, I'd like to take this time to point out that Cambridge is doing the best they can in these times. It's easy and natural to make them the enemy, that they're confusing everybody, but the world is in a confusion. Companies that were surviving and thriving a month ago are laying off people to finding it hard to survive. The whole capitalistic society has been turned on its head. We're trying to figure out how to move forward from this time forward. And Cambridge, who has to uphold its standard for the exams, has to do the best they can to maintain the integrity of their exams. Understand their point of view. The only reason why we all want to give Cambridge exams is because the value they have for university admissions. Their integrity are something very important to them, even if it causes logistical problems in schools, and which is why they'll say you might be able to give it next term. But understand that they are trying to maintain that their grades represent a certain quality of student, and that because they're going to do this for the years coming ahead, they'll be giving exams. You'll be wanting to take them. Now, if they were very flexible, they wouldn't be this sought after. We wouldn't be spending thousands of rupees on schools and tuitions just to get a grade. This is per month, by the way. This is lakhs of rupees a year just to get the grades for Cambridge, because we know what they mean. We know they're important. So let's give it that due. They're not trying to make it difficult just for the sake of making it difficult. They want to be able to make the fairest grade possible for you guys. Being fair is more important than making sure everybody is happy. That's their primary objective, being fair and also worrying about your safety. Now, what do you do in these times? Well, I'll be breaking down my advice based on year levels, and I'll start with the highest grade first. So second year students, this is what you do. If you're waiting to give your A2 exams right now, and you've now been given the option of either accepting the certificate at June 2020 or opting for the November exams. And this is what I would recommend to you. If you've done well enough for yourself in the AS exam and have had decent grades in A2, but even if they were a little lower than your AS result, if you are generally happy with your AS result, I would say take the grade that the school assigns for you in 2020 certificate, June. If you're not happy with your AS result and you're hoping to improve that in A2, which doesn't improve for too many people, but it does improve for some, then I would recommend to you that you withdraw your candidacy, sit for the November exams, and then risk university admissions in January for the Jan session. Understand this, that right now the world is going to be changing how they do admissions for at least this year. So if you need to focus on the fact that if you've done decently well enough, put A levels behind you and move on with your lives. There is a lot more to do in life after A levels. Get on with it right now. So take the grade if it is decent enough for you and move forward. And if you've not done well in AS, then you might assess, should I take a gap 6 months and do the AS and A2 together in November, which is what I recommend, or take the AS A2 in June next year, because you're already going to have some gap in your life, because the whole world is having a gap year of sorts. That's the advice for A2 students, private and school. Now, the private students are in a bit of a pickle. They should just normally, the best thing for them to do is resit in November or June. I'm sorry, but they don't have much school data to go on, which is why it's best to always be part of a school. Now, as far as first year students are concerned, AS students, what I recommend to you guys do is this, that if you've done well in O levels, if you've done well in school, trust your teachers to get you the grade that you deserve, and take that forward. And if you haven't done well in your schools and you're thinking, you know what, it's unfair, I just needed to prove it right now, well, you should have done a little better before. But let's say you haven't done well in school. And what do you do then? Then I recommend you withdraw your candidacy and give your AS in November while studying for A2 in June, July, August. And some schools might help you facilitate that. And if they don't, then you take the AS all the way in June, along with your A2s. It's not impossible. It's been done. We used to do it in our times. I've done that in my time. We didn't have this breakup of AS and A2 in my time. It is possible. A lot of countries, people still do this. In a lot of cities in Pakistan, people still do this. So for those of you who've done well in school tests and AS, take the plunge and take the June 2020 certificate. Let's say it doesn't come up to mark to what you want. You can still reset for the exams in November. But for those of you who knew and who know that you have not done well in school so far, but your potential was to do more, I say withdraw now and focus from now, which is April, May, June, July. These 4 months, focus completely on revising all of AS level. You've been given this break. Your teachers are available online. You've got massive content available online. You can study right now. And then start your A2s in school while you finish revising your AS level. It's perfect for an AS candidate. In fact, it's brilliant because you know exactly where you stand right now. You know your school results. If they're not good, withdraw, sit for November or next June. If they were good in school, your test results, stick by them. Now we go on to the O levels. So if I'm talking to O level kids right now, if you're in final year O levels, what I would like you to do is take the June 2020 result that the schools give you and move on to A levels first year and start your new life in A levels and then look forward. Don't look back now. Whatever grades you get, just take them and move on. If you think, no, the grade that you are going to get have nowhere near the likelihood of what you are going to score yourself, then you take a gap 6 months or a gap year and give the exams then. Do not start A levels and then go back and give your November exams for O levels. It's going to screw up everything. So if you're not happy with what your school will give you, then you take a gap year and give AS O levels again in 2021 or November 2020. I would recommend June 2021 will give you enough time to revise. But I would, for most kids, even if you don't get the grades you deserve, just take them, move on. There's too much at stake in life ahead right now to worry about kya grade aaya hai. But if you're in 10th grade, you guys are the luckiest because what you can do is many things. You can take the grades the school give you because most of the subjects that we give in 10th grade are not really our major subjects. They're not going to be the subjects that we will ever care about. But if you do care about those grades and if you've done well in school, great. Take the June 2020 school certificate. If you've not done well in school and you thought you would improve yourself now, I'd say study for the next 2-3 months, give those exams in November, and then do your June 2021, your O levels, and then move on with your lives. So for 10th graders, if you've done well in school, or if you've done decently well or not even that well, nobody really cares about these grades too much. Take the result right now, put this behind you, move on with 11th grade stuff, which is the real meat of O-level education. While the O-level 11th graders, please take the actual result right now and move on to A-levels. We have to learn to move on now. We can't go back and crib about mera result nahi aaya. It's unlucky. And you know what? It might be a bad time right now, but who knows what lies ahead. So let's make the best decisions we can right now in this moment. And there's no point of thinking about whose fault it is and who you're going to blame, who's the devil and who's wrong here. You got to decide for what's best for you in the given circumstances and the scenario that you've been placed in. So for kids, this is what I tell you. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below, and I will try to answer them as to the best of my ability. But these are my own personal views. I hope they're taken in that context. Private candidates, I'm sorry, but life is not very fair for you. It's going to be a tough call for you. I would suggest think about taking the exams in November 2020 or June 2021, because the British Council might be very hard. It might be very difficult for British Council to give you a fair grade. All right? Khuda Hafiz, and I'll catch you next time.